Let's go to Rob in Birmingham. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Iain. Good to talk to you, Iain.
Hi.
I just wanted to make the point about you obviously you referenced that she's a new PM, and very much my view is that she's a new person, but is she any different to Boris? Because most of the things she's talking about, hospitals, doctors' waiting times, help with energy bills, very much is everything that Boris has said in some form or other.
Well, they are both Conservatives.
No. But what I'm saying is, she really is. Without being derogatory, she's Boris in a skirt, and she reminds me very much of William Hague. She's, very well-meaning, possibly, but she. The way she comes across, how she is, how she's willing to, how she engages with the public, I think is probably one of the things she's going to struggle with. And that will, not help her. Boris, if she didn't have a teleprompter or some sort of script, I'm sure she would struggle. Boris would be able to do that off the cuff. So she have those issues, but very much, I don't believe what she says. There's no substance behind it. I appreciate she's only been in for 6 hours, but my gut instinct tells me she is going to continue the same lines that Boris did, and ultimately going to deliver very little. We're living under a system where we are taxed more than we've ever been taxed in, I think it's either 50 or 70 years. I can't remember exactly how much it is. And yet, I feel that I am getting less and less and less for that money. Now, surely that is a broken system. Something's wrong there. And that's been going on. That's been a slow grind down. I appreciate there's problems. But if you look at the rest of the world, America has had problems. France has had problems. Germany's had problems. We've all been through COVID. We've all been through economic struggles with the financial crash 10, 12 years ago. But we are still one of the heaviest taxed as individuals, nations out there, and we're getting less and less. And it's because of their policies. And she's going to continue those policies, in my view. And one other thing I'd like to say about the way Boris has certainly handled dealing with problems, he likes to throw money at it. He likes to throw our money at it. By the way, I'm a Tory. I voted Conservative all my life. Only once did I ever vote Labour. And I will not be voting for the Tories until they learn. They're going to have to learn, unfortunately, a difficult lesson, and that's them to be boosted out of power. They're going exactly the same way they did with Labour. I feel, anyway, Iain.
Well, three points. 3 points. You said that we're taxed very highly, which if you look historically we are. We have higher taxes now than we have done in decades, but we still have lower taxes overall than most other countries, certainly our competitors in Europe. So that is just a fact. 2 other points on what you said about, well, is she just another Boris Johnson? Well, they do belong to the same party. They were elected on the same manifesto. So from that point of view, there will be a certain degree of continuity. I thought it was a bit odd to get rid of Boris Johnson and then have two leading members of his cabinet as the only 2 choices for the party members to vote for. I'd have thought they ought to have had somebody who maybe wasn't so associated with it. But she is her own person. She will have her own priorities, just as Boris Johnson had his, and they won't be the same. So you'll have some of the same, but not all of it, I think, is the answer to your question.
I agree. She is a different individual, so that individual has different priorities and a different view on the world. And maybe she won't be so jokey and flippant as Boris was, but how effective she will be, obviously, is the big question. And my view is, I don't believe she'll be effective because so far all she spoke about in terms of, let's say, the energy crisis and the bills, what's being touted is that all she's going to do is make that loan scheme that Boris came up with, that where we'd get £400 back, but over a period we'd have to pay that back over 2 years or 3 years, whatever it was. All she's doing is inflating that scheme to be much, much bigger.
But we don't know that yet because she hasn't announced it. You're making an assumption on zero knowledge.
I'm just basing it on obviously what's being said in the media, in the news, Channel 4,
let's hang on. Let's wait till Thursday, shall we? And we can actually see the detail of it before we rush to judgment. Because again, after 6 hours, I don't think it's fair to just sort of denounce anything that you think that she might possibly be doing. Thank you very much, Rob.